Welcome back to Arsenal News TV, and today we're going to look at the 10 Arsenal players expected to leave, including a surprise exit as the Gunners raise transfer funds. Arsenal will need to sell players to raise funds for any summer signings, with a number of fringe players set to leave. Mikel Arteta made an admission at the end of 2020 that Arsenal were 5 or 6 players short from being able to deploy his preferred 4-3-3 formation. For those players still at the club, Mikel Arteta's comments were evidence as to where he sees the current squad and what his plans will be in the coming months. Outgoings saw several players leave the Emirates Stadium in January, and further wholesale changes could occur this summer, depending on whether the right offers come in for certain players. So the first person on the list is Runar Alex Runarsson. The 25-year-old arrived at the Emirates Stadium last summer as a replacement for Emiliano Martinez. Runarsson, he was identified by Gunners goalkeeping coach Inaki Kana, has conceded 7 goals in 5 appearances for the club, with a calamitous performance against Manchester City in the Carabao Cup drawing widespread attention in December. It is expected that the Icelandic international will be able to leave this summer, and I think Mikel Arteta and Adi know that they have a bad signing in the form of Alex Runarsson, and he's someone that will definitely leave Arsenal. So the next person on the list is Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan's arrival on loan from Brighton in January took many by surprise. Gunners boss Mikel Arteta has given no indication as to whether he will look to make the deal permanent in the summer, but a return to the South Coast for Ryan appears unlikely. The Aussie international is a boyhood gooner and wants to stay at the club beyond next season, with a decision likely to be made towards the end of the campaign. And it looks like even though Matt Ryan wants to stay at the club, it all depends on Mikel Arteta, and if he wants to raise funds, he will have to get rid of these players and Matt Ryan might leave. So the next player on the list is Hector Bellerin. The 26-year-old has been heavily linked with a summer departure after almost a decade at the club. Barcelona and Paris Saint-Germain are the names being touted, with Hector Bellerin reportedly open to a move away from North London. He could be a player sold to raise funds this summer, has also looked to pursue a deal for Martin Odegaard. And many Arsenal fans would agree that there are better right backs than Hector Bellerin for a cheaper value. So it looks like Mikel Arteta will be selling Hector Bellerin, who he gave his word to last year that he will be sold this summer. And he is someone that will be definitely sold this summer. So the next person on the list is David Luiz. The 33-year-old will be a free agent in the summer, and was expected to depart when his contract expires at the end of the season. David Luiz was handed an extra 12 months on his deal last summer, after impressing Gunners boss Mikel Arteta with the impact he had on the younger members of the squad. But an extension for David Luiz, who turns 34 in April, makes little sense with the likes of Dinos Mavropanos and William Saliba returning for their respective loan spells, and I think definitely Mikel Arteta will let go of David Luiz this time round as his age is really high. So the next person on the list is Dani Ceballos. The on-loan Real Madrid midfielder will return to his parent club this summer. Arsenal are likely to pursue a permanent deal for the Spaniard, who has previously stated he wants to fight for his place in the Los Blancos midfield. And when it comes to Dani Ceballos, he is someone that should be scratching his head, because Martin Odegaard came to this Arsenal team and he fought for his place, and now he's someone that the Gunners are willing to make sure that they get a permanent transfer for. And that could have been Dani Ceballos as well, but things haven't worked for him at Arsenal, and he was someone that will definitely leave, someone that wants to fight in the Real Madrid midfield, and he will definitely leave. So the next person on the list is Alexandre Lacazette. With 1 year remaining on his current contract, a summer exit would make sense for both club and player. A concrete decision will be made on the Frenchman's future at the end of the season. Clubs in France, Italy and Spain have already made contact with Alexandre Lacazette's representatives ahead of the summer transfer window. And with the likes of Lacazette having to fight with Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, he looks to be at the club for a very long time. it will only make sense to depart some players and someone that can bring a lot of cash, and that could be in the form of Alexandre Lacazette. He will definitely leave. So the next person on the list is Sead Kolasinac. Arsenal are expected to allow Sead Kolasinac to leave for a nominal fee this summer following his loan spell at struggling Schalke. And we can clearly see that Kolasinac hasn't helped Schalke at all, and him alongside Mustafi have turned out to realise that they're not good enough at this level of Arsenal, and they're also struggling at a level of Schalke as well. And if we want to see Kolasinac back in this team, I think it's going to be highly unlikely. They'll try to at least secure him for at least a £1 million transfer fee or anything for Kolasinac, or something that Mikel Arteta will definitely do. And I think definitely Sead Kolasinac will be leaving Arsenal this time round. And the next person on the list is Joe Willock. And on the loan spell, beckons for the England youngster who has impressed whilst on loan at Newcastle. Willock's long-term future doesn't appear to be at Arsenal, and there is also the possibility that he could leave permanently this summer. "I'm not really looking at Arsenal," he said last month. "When that time comes for me to make a decision to go back or not, that will come, but right now I'm focused on Newcastle and I'm loving every minute that I'm here." So it looks like Joe Willock would want to be remaining at Newcastle as a potential starter in the midfield for that team, and it looks highly likely that he will be leaving Arsenal. So the next person on the list is Ainsley Maitland-Niles. The biggest issue with Ainsley Maitland-Niles succeeding at Arsenal is that he sees his long-term future in midfield, something that Mikel Arteta clearly doesn't agree with. Currently on loan at West Brom, the 23-year-old has made a good impression with Sam Allardyce's side so far, and a permanent move this summer would certainly not be a surprise. And if Maitland-Niles wanted to change his position and play more of a fullback role, then he's someone that will have a future at Arsenal, but he seems to be adamant with his decision, and it looks like Mikel Arteta is the bigger man and he will be letting go of Ainsley Maitland-Niles. So the next person on the list is Matteo Guendouzi. With his contract expiring at the end of next season, it is likely that Arsenal will look to sell Matteo Guendouzi this summer. The 21-year-old has spent time on loan at Hertha Berlin after falling out of favour at the Emirates Stadium. Next, we will sit down with my entourage and people at the club to discuss the future, said the Frenchman. This summer will be a decisive moment. I belong to Arsenal for another year. From the moment that I'm playing from Arsenal, I will give everything for the club, fans, team and staff, and I'll work hard for the t-shirt as I always have done, but he's someone that will definitely leave this summer. So it looks like these are 10 players that Mikel Arteta will make sure they leave in order for the team to raise transfer funds for other players. But other than that guys, remain blessed, stay tuned for the next video and peace.